In 1825, New York State's leaders had to make a decision. The most audacious infrastructure project ever envisioned in North America, the 363-mile-long Erie Canal, was nearing successful completion. Before long, the Port of New York would be connected to the Great Lakes and the rich interior of America. One question remained: where to end it? The choice was a small trading post called Buffalo Creek. And as soon as the canal opened and proved to be a success, the city of Buffalo began to rise on the banks of Lake Erie. Rise and prosper. By 1900, Buffalo was the 8th largest city in America, a center for shipping, shipbuilding, railroads, and eventually heavy industry like steel and automobiles. The town was known as the Queen of the Lakes, and after Buffalo served as one of the arsenals of democracy, providing tanks and planes during World War II, its future seemed secure. But the economic forces that built Buffalo began its unmaking. By the middle of the 20th century, Buffalo began a decline in which it lost many of its large employers and half its population. Even worse, the city lost much of its spirit. After decades of decline, the entire western New York region seemed to be a lost cause. But under Governor Andrew Cuomo, New York made a decision to compete in a 21st century economy and to begin in Western New York. Starting in 2011, we sought the input of local business and community leaders, educators, and other experts to identify the region's strengths and needs. Through our regional economic development councils, we developed a comprehensive approach. The plan was ambitious. The plan was big. Big enough to have an impact. Big enough to convince people we were serious. The plan was the Buffalo Billion, a $1 billion investment in Western New York. And last year, we followed up with the Buffalo Billion 2, an additional $500 million investment in the region. When you add together all of our state investments in the region, it is $8.5 billion, more than any administration in history. Our strategy to unlock the potential of Western New York consists of 3 key elements. First, devising a regional economic development strategy to attract business and good jobs. Second, undertaking an infrastructure strategy to rebuild decaying assets and invest in the needs of the future, including complete broadband coverage and high-speed access. And third, embracing statewide fiscal discipline by holding government spending below a 2% annual increase and lowering tax rates, while enacting programs to improve schools, provide access to free college education for all, and protect our New York values of equality and opportunity for all. We started with Western New York because it represented the biggest challenge, and if we put Western New York back on track, we were sure we could do the same across upstate. The plan is working. Today, fueled by our investments, the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus is home to such innovators as Athenex, AMRI, Roswell Park Cancer Institute, Buffalo Institute for Genomics, Gates Vascular Institute, and Hoffman Woodward. With Cummins, Tulip Corp, General Motors, Moog, and Buffalo Manufacturing Works, the city can now claim status as a home for advanced manufacturing. And with its facilities rising on the grounds of an abandoned steel mill, Tesla is manufacturing the solar energy technology of tomorrow. And with those businesses have come jobs. Today, Western New York has 538,800 private sector jobs, an increase of 30,000 jobs or 5.9% since February 2011. The signs of improvement are everywhere. Unemployment has fallen from a high of 9.1% in February 2011 to 6.6% today. Home values are rising, and for the first time in decades, the population of young adults is on the rise. And that's not all. Tourists are coming. In Niagara Falls, Western New York possesses the most phenomenal natural attraction east of the Grand Canyon, and the region's many state parks are also a draw. More than 18 million guests have visited Western New York in 2016, up 15.5% since 2011. Tourism spending neared $3 billion in 2016, an increase of 17.4%. And when visitors come, they benefit from the tens of millions of dollars that the state has invested in preserving our natural assets and protecting the cleanliness of Western New York's water. The steps we have taken include attacking harmful algae blooms at Chautauqua Lake, undertaking a comprehensive ecological restoration at the Niagara Gorge, creating new recreation areas at the Buffalo Harbor State Park, and refurbishing parklands at Allegheny State Park. With Governor Cuomo's $70 million commitment to restore Niagara Falls State Park's natural landscape and upgrade its amenities, and with improved access to the parkland, the Falls should prepare itself for its rediscovery as a great American destination. Put it all together, and the message is simple. The buzz is back in Buffalo and in Western New York. For the third time since it was a muddy trading post, the city and the region is booming. Just look around. There are new buildings rising at the University of Buffalo Jacobs School of Medicine and the John R. Oshai Children's Hospital. There is a new Peace Bridge gateway between the United States and Canada, functioning efficiently after languishing in prolonged bureaucratic debates. The $43 million renovation of the Niagara Falls train station is open and running, and $25 million has been set aside to modernize the terminal in Buffalo. From a $57 million investment to wire the entire region for broadband, to the $50 million for a creation of a National Comedy Center in Jamestown, from the $42 million in improvements in the Niagara Scenic Parkway to the installation of cashless tolling on Grand Island, and from the construction of a new $25 million Western New York Welcome Center to help greet the ever-growing tourist traffic, to the tens of thousands of happy Western New Yorkers who regularly visit Canalside, once a neglected area in the harbor, and now the center of a proud and resurgent city that is looking forward to the opportunities of tomorrow. Western New York is on the upswing, and Buffalo is back.
Excelsior is the state motto, ever upwards, always aspirational. And it is a perfect word to describe not just the state's motto, but the spirit of the people of New York. And there is nothing that we can't do when we put our mind to it, and that's what we have to remember, and that's what Excelsior says to every one of us.